nti so oba Ghana ha se wabakosem bebre nti ye ka asem bi se oman a yenso so mo de omokra ne omonkwa to ho eso de ama oman sa kro no eho hia se beku ye ho de ama omo nti ebredu se ya na ya kai omo ya kai ne ma hodo a ewo monten so ne ma no bebre ho no mokra wahu na so nim se de ase kire ene se de ho dwumadie kra esitie ne kofare bai ekwan pa fa so e baaye eno kra so onim ene de ka me ka se mrebi atwamu na ye Ghana currency na ye wo behu na symbols na se nkofo ahodo bebre wo so first na me dwen se drawing bi keke ana se painting bi na nipa bi abɔ mu trim no maye se na ye omo ti ase a omo betina Ghana ha bobra dwumadie so nku bi nti na ye di omo atoto sa sika wi so we nyina ya de bi ese ohu na wahu so esom bo se sika no ekutawa na watimi akra ne ye ena me ne historian ena de wa ma for NDC debi ena obai for abakosem me ne historian apia bo de nature ena e share de nkomotwetwe bro menua mu akwaba
ekwese mejo so
apia aboko de
nyame adom yankopon de den so acha nti grateful to Almighty God say adiachi me ba so meni age ensan studio ha de
sure.
Before that, na me share my station also. Na mo yi documentary about the first Miss Ghana. Na there.
Yeah.
What I said,
it was amazing.
Very amazing.
And that's the idea, bro.
Idea, bro.
An idea, bro.
We see, say, o castle mind creature. The idea na say we have modernized it. No, it has been done before. Yeah, muda. But the attorney say, in doing it now, no. I say yakoichi 2 or 3 steps back. See, a kase ye be hwa abakosem na yesu ade afiri mu. Then pick the good lessons from it. And Carboni be say Ghana would have moved a step further in development.
Yeah.
Because okay, mesa kan bi mo who say a nation that does not honor its heroes is not worth dying for. Okra ye papa a o fi no. O ma wo ba sika. No mo appreciate you a. O de money bi mu a you will think twice. Appreciation hu hia ye pa.
Sure.
Into a good say be sua your history. Na ya hwe say omo maba before ye omo ade a aso eni no. Ye bon aba so. Na ya hwe say we can learn from them.
Okay. We can learn from them and no ehun komodie na ye de ebre obibia na afi ya hwe niema hodo a Ghana ha etwa ho ahia itimi de ani hu itimi de nsaka emfaso de ahodo a ewo so naturally na ye topic na nkasa o say history of monument in Ghana eno na ye ba be de ho nkomo ye mfa de e friend monument monument to the batwi my friend in Kaidum ye ka in Kaidum na monument ade na ye pa che
Meda se epa ana mamenchia KANTANKA TV tifo nyina.
Okay.
Ana amanfo asabe omaje edwa omotie yen. Mesanso akabiem se o production crew no. I thank them so much for taking this topic.
Yeah.
Esan se obi wo ha otu kwan se o free Ghana ha ko Dubai akohwe ade e wo ho no. Or call US of A or call UK. Akohwe the monument they have. the London Bridge, the towers and what have you. But the TN say you can monument ha. Tena o kana yen kaidum. Ade bi asabe esi ho no mu a uhu obeka so ade we de efe. It is not only nice, but there's a history backing that thing.
Okay.
Inti monument bia yen kaidum a kire say esi ho no mu no. Ya mfansi ho kwa. Se ufifi mu na uduedue mu a ubehu rich history bia etechiri.
Okay.
Na meka asaka ne biem se upese o explore Ghana. Utu kwine, oko all the 16 regions are. I can tell you for a fact, say, ubenya 1 or 2 and even 10 monuments in one region in Ghana.
Yeah.
At least region Bia Ghana Habiano, Untminka said there are no monuments there. There are monuments, and those monuments na en kaidumuno. See the church and kwara, nan krane who say this is the history backing this monument. Adie waiting adie ye CDC wa. I believe strongly say ye can de bia say the spirit of patriotism.
Yeah.
Ye man kwara who say ade esi hoi sebe ye grandfathers ye mpanyimfo na gisi ho mayen. Oma gisi ho mayen no. What are we also doing to ensure say we can do something for the country? And matachi on 5 major monuments. I be share omu history. The enti e be si ho ene the enti a e wo say etumi sun ade wo ho ma e boa yen.
Okay.
But before that, now I'll talk about generality of monuments we have in Ghana.
Okay.
Ade a wo hu asebe a bronti so. Now there is a rich history backing it. Oko Kentampo or Kentampo waterfalls.
Sure.
A great monument in the country.
Okay.
A very tourist site and so. Okay. Over the years, Nimpa Pi Kohonum, Ekoshe. Apart from watching this monument, no, a man for also call to go and enjoy the waterfall free extra eba. Always and every day, no, in Sudu Sunny, a rich one. You were one now palace. We can say Anka palace, dear, Anka what makes it much more monumental. But the TN say the way a young mini palace they see hono.
Yeah.
Ushe now they compare a lot of buildings in some time past. Which means say our forefathers, but they were civilized. No many be.
Yeah.
The kind of civilization, you share people's buildings, their social structure, religious activities, and the things they did in the past. And the Wana Palace is also a very great monumental achievement in Ghana. You share the traditional buildings at the Asante Kingdom. Oko Otumfo Menshia Palace.
Yeah.
There are a lot of traditional buildings there.
Yeah.
You see, in some time past, you see that you the clay, any thatch roof, yes, palm tree, the front na dry up no, you the guso. The TNS say Oko Otumfo Palace. Some of these buildings are still there. They have been preserved. And to Kosha, as a Ghanaian, I said, "What's it there? AC boom." No, you're free just 1 to about 6. But we have moved from one step to the other. That is also a monument. Oko Jamestown, there's a lighthouse over there.
Yeah, Jamestown.
You're painting white and I think red also.
Red and white.
A very tall tower. What kind of history of the Europeans and their coming? Said the Abrofono. You better call into the 5 ones I'm picking, but in general, no Abrofono Bahano, 1471. Omoba Bibi FMS Shaman in the Western region. That was their first touch with Ghanaians. Oman Tranwoman Chomosan call back. Omoba back, no, basically fort and castles. And you better call about 3 or 4 of them. There are some forts and castles around Jamestown. Into the lighthouse tower, no, the TN say, Abrofono no bason bedidja. There's something we call monopoly of trade. Mabahana bedidja no, mempese other European powers and baha BNB. Into mujina swamu from far off in the sea. So if you no ba on your canoe and answer on your boat and on your ship, they can see you. Omu sana ma ko jina omo castle no and answer fort no ho. Na omo de boba ke siebi ahye omo ayese tuo. Na ya to dia bo wo ship na eba no. Inti ya tubo na sana say ho be mu a. Na sinking no. Inti the tower was supposed to help them to see afar. Obi asebi ono so ba be di dwane bi. Inti a monumental thing. Ubeti mafra ko jina top. Ujina top wa uhu down. Ehu nsuo no so. It is a huge monument for Ghanaians, and you can also learn from that. Here the Larabanga Mosque in northern Ghana. So Oko northern Ghana. Most people in northern Ghana are Muslims, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because they're friend of trans-Saharan trade. Involving people in West Africa and those in North Africa. I from the Berbers. Now the TN say between North Africa and West Africa, no, and most people in northern Ghana no, were involved in the trade. As a result of that, no, North Africans, no, they got Islam from Arabia through their contact. And through trade, no, almost extended Islam to what? People in northern Ghana. And there was a need to set up a place of worship. The Ebo Empire. And the Larabanga Mosque, no, is a very, very monumental mosque via. The way I see, no, I entreat a lot of Ghanaians to also go there and go and watch. Yeah, well, the Asim Manso ancestral slave river.
Yeah.
Time now, you're engaging in the transatlantic slave trade, no. Mecca into detail later. But they tell you some kofa slaves live free the interior of the bar, Asante, Akwemu, Adansea. Ombera Central Regional. Omudu Asim Mansoa. There was a small river in Sobi Oho. Ye gare omo, their last bath. They keep your omo for a number of months, feeding them and ensuring say omo hu betumi ato omo na bibi omo pe no omo betumi aye wo ho. Enti basically no, the ancestral river no was a place you dware omo ba. They don't be castle asleep before they transport them. And lastly, before the one I mentioned here, no, is the Boabin Fima Monkey Sanctuary. Yeah. A great monument. Don't always think a monument is only a building. But when the setup is good, the structure is good, now it attracts tourists. Omo free chichi ni benche ba. See a beshe say they are near wa. All those things are there. Apart from the fact say a yen kai dumno, a sanso mayen foreign exchange. Obi free Canada ba. US ba so be share some of these story sites are ebeboa ama development akoso.
Okay, me da se papa me pese me busa asem we e de ade na ma bibi ye kase we ye enkaidum. Ese se ade na ye kese pa. Ese ye kuma bi. Ese ye ade a obi ate ho asem. Ese ye ade ye peculiar to enkonfo kakra bi e wo community bi mu. Ana se ye ade o mamu ade oboso ese obi ehu. Ye de na ebetimi aye se bi a abusua de ebi abusua bi nko but eye ade bi omo kai se ka se bibi enkai duma na monumental de qualities na ese nya ansa na timi abesa.
Thank you. The ten say enkai duma de ense say ya de kese.
Okay.
Ana say eye ketwa.
Okay.
Goni be see the significance of it. Esom faso na ade a war history backing it. Goni be the symbolism of it. So we call most of the forts and castles what did it stand for? Na ye den. E den tin ye see sa de no.
Okay.
Na e wa bako sem techiri ana. It can be something very small. Now so the history behind it no, which may monumental. It can be something very big without significance. Inti ade no, say history behind techiri. There is no significance to back it. There is nothing the young ones can learn from it. Na se benyen kaidum. A bit me ketwa, a bit me kese. But the history be teachi, a bit mention be free mu. Na sa at the end of it all no crampo no acquire say tourist site, tourist attraction. Now bit me search on it. Ehun say me wade we, na de you am me wono. People can come from far wide and near and come and watch it na bit me kaidum.
Okay.
Yes.
Nti emfa say e bia abusua ena busuani ba kwotimi si dan sonko bi kama bi omai de edi nkoso ne mo busua na fa say edan we de bia ye kora sa dan no se de be ya e bia so bi omuka ho asem na obi ti odo so betimi ahwe a sa de kora betimi afre ne nkaido
Meet my friend is but the significance of it no enye for the entire nation.
Okay.
You see,
okay.
Kantanka TV, a station be a model with heritage power.
Yeah.
We should encourage people to have their own small monument somewhere. Ade bia sebe eye mfasode ma ono ni nebusia. Any national significance there. But o fast had any the see ebusu anymore. If the family sees it, ade bia e bring you together. Men kan kwetira na the Ashanti Kingdom. The Oyoko clan.
Yeah.
And a setting up. The TN said it was previously a small group of people. But almost for the golden stool, Tigeja Kofina, Omuhuni said Bonibese is an embodiment of the soul of the Ashanti Kingdom. And the Kangakra, and the kingdom has become very big.
Oh, okay.
Into Adia Cassiano,
Tinka Busiana and Fasa, the Kitwana, Sasia, and then Kaway. And Kawamufa and Abel, thank you very much. Oh, okay. And to say, Adia be what I say, who as Nimpano, as a Busiano, who say, a idea who hear more. They can hold it in high esteem. With time, community will see it. With time, no, or many behu. With time, we are see behu. Because idea o crani ye no. Now o crani can see any here no. With time, that thing becomes a monument not only for you, the person, the whole community, the nation as a whole, and the world in general. And in Kaidum, starting kakra and kakra. Me Falarabanga palace, yeah.
The mosque, no. The mosque is a mosque for a few group of people who were Muslim at that time. But more
time Islam.
Thank you. Have an saying Muslims. Omokrani ye na said the UNESCO and the Ghana Tourist Board and what have you nibe who say no. Adi esi hoyi the kesiye because o hwe adi esi na ye catch we say sebe I said the anwene born they are boom together. It's possible. Because during that time, their friend say mortar, bricks, cement, and what have you. And we are honum there. But what makes us say means how dear we, and the name of the now it's a monumental thing. And now the case you be a sabi, if you go to somebody's house, or be a student, so say
yes.
But we are being kind of say the way I mean no. I'm gonna be something very great to the people of Ghana.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a papa. Inti na we ene ne ma hodo bi amanfo to kwan di free Ghana ha na ye kwa amanfo kroso na ye kokohwe. Ene so obi so okọ nsrahwe e wo Dubai, obi so okọ nsrahwe wo France, e wo Germany, e wo US a. Omo nkai duma hodo e wo ho no e na ye kwa akohwe na afa ye ni agye ho. Omo nsuo makwaye mekai ukọ asomanya baby omo tai ka se hono na Ashanti Kingdom no ehase fa free a quiet and I feel my jehu obi enwuram obi enko ba bia sa bre na abusua bi ade ye na say ha na free ba nti ajehu and na ba be o mamu ni nyina ade a obi atimi ko ho kohwe de esie wo honom ne kan ho asem kiro me kan na majabo nwere kinte and no obi na ehase and no be kan ho asem ade kitu abi but na ba be o man ni nyina ade nti sa asem na kan na ho hia pa bibi e danso e ba ne ye fe e wo abakosem bi e wo busua mu ene ehase ka ho asem kura no wo honom da che be ba be asem kese na for man ni nyina enso ate ho asem nti na ye hwe eniema ahodo a esese ye ansa ne bekoso no ye mfa ne se ti se bi a enkai duma ahodo ye bo ho dawe se ye bona etere ye se ase a emfa so be na ye benya film se Ghana for anasa ankrankre
me das ye pa o kan about quiet kitwe bi a ye gye ho Ashanti Kingdom de tie ne se enkai dum hu ye pa esan se ye bon kai dem ho ban a we are protecting nature.
Okay.
Sebi insuo bi a da ho a say there is a history backing that river.
Yeah.
We protect nature. And for example, you protect forester. You say when the last tree dies, the last man dies. Apart from that, no, a project a country no on the world stage. You share, for example, the Elmina Castle. Nimpa bebre free chichini bench ya ba behwe. On behwe ye ton ye man no de ma foreigners. Apart from that, no ye nya sika free mu. Esan so mo ba on bedi dwa. On beda hotels. On be tua mpanto me rem.
Yeah.
Into foreign exchange. The Ghana Tourist Board benye sika. Sika no so no be ba o man na boaye. The chance to say emma at the train ya disua no ye easy. Esan say wo tra akwara for example that transatlantic slave trader. Or call Elmina Castle. The teaching becomes more practical because we who are there can one sem no.
Yeah.
Into the attorney say we cannot and never downplay tourist sites in Ghana and monuments in general. Esan say why am I preserving your culture? Your culture, your values, your norms, your beliefs and practices. Ade am I Ghana for no? E will say so mudin because most of in Kaidum no say da hono ma e try say ye mpanyimfo abesen kono then omo ye ade omo ye na omo de see san Kaidum no then ye nso ye be ye na ye de aboa say de esi ho no ye be bi intimation ka biem say the spirit of national development, the spirit of patriotism.
Yeah.
Simply put, no, the love you have for your nation and the sacrifice you are willing to make for a nation to survive. See who, for example, say yes, Elmina Castle me bahonum. Me fa the monument Elmina Castle. The tiene say e kayen ye contact with the white. Makame sen repeat say in 1471 white ne ba Ghana hasi. And by the year 1482 omo call Elmina. Omo ko honum no omo hu say honum no ye ma omo. Adekuni to omo ba interest omo te say in Africa near friend Western Sudan. Na gold wa hanum ye pa. Nti omo te ye say gold wa hanum see. Nti omo be ba a pe gold ni bi etu. Mbrofru nyina gitum. But the European country or taking lead in coming was Portugal. Nti by 1482 no na the Portuguese are in Elmina. Omo ko hono no omo ko hu ohene no kwa me na ansa na omo che ne say yaba ye be ye business trade but a person stay hono and to stay there no we need something to stay inside. That led to the construction of the Elmina Castle. Nti ye friend no Sir George de Mina Sao Jorge Mina means the mines in Portugal. Because Enkaneno, since you tompoa, na a piansi ni benim kakra, they go and pick the alluvial gold. Into the time they call that place the Gold Coast. Almost see castle, no? The reason was only two. First of all, it be serving as a place of abode for them. Then secondly, almost creating warehouse. Almost say, they will keep their goods there until say
ship never.
That was the initial thing. The TNS say with the passage of time, almost discover a place, a place in America. I find the New World. New World no na assassinate a fertile ye pa. Udua de na eba. Nti eba na sa na omo hia human labor. Into at a point in time no, omo idea say we are coming to trade in gold. Another thing is a sign. See, there was a trade in what? Human beings. You know, transatlantic slave trade. And omo created some places in the castle as dungeons. Male and female dungeons. It's a prison or castle. Then they capture slaves in the bar. They will keep them there. And in the first instance, no, you fought the Elmina Castle as monumental. It did two things. Eka never mean. Eka said at a point in time, Europeans never has said near Bedidra. That was the first thing. A sense of Kaya said, your forefathers and an anum I ba has said no. It do maybe Europeans no for almost and qua.
Yeah.
Almost chiomo. My main cousin Mincho said, Omo chiomo, Oman chomo Cape Coast near Minao. Omo call into the interior. Asante, Adanse, Kwewu, ni achew, achechere wonsa, any chains, or nine any chains. Now 190 free interior, edi about the coast. Sebi, abofno mo adinye pa. Omo hu say, if we capture the slaves in the coast, there will be confusion between us and those we are living with. Nchomo de mo ba. There was harrowing experiences in the castle as dungeons. Minka and so be a na the tiene say the Europeans who were there serving as governors and the slave masters, they were abusing the slaves. Abusing stem from the fact that there were some slaves who didn't want to eat because they felt that to go to Europe and America, they deserve to die here and not to go there. In Tomoko on hunger strike, what the white did was that they would go and pick chisel, or front it, by force. Then they would push food into your mouth to eat it by force. Because they were capturing the able-bodied men and women. Omato was slave, and you must not go waste. So if you pick the Elmina Castle as a monument, it must remind Ghanaians that there came a time the Europeans came here to trade with us. We didn't invite them. They came on their own. Almost so fire as Nkwa. So basically, historically, the Elmina Castle reminds us. That is why when Obama came here, Obama and a wife. Because most Europeans and most Americans they have a history with Ghana and South African countries. And they can trace it here. Into anybody you see as a black American, or what history of the fact that the parents were taken from Africa, they have their roots here. And their roots were more or less like a man for a chiomo, Edomo America, and the slave trade didn't benefit Ghana positively. Negative benefit didn't mean say, manpower base was captured from here. And at a point in time, a committee Ghana year patch said those who could work and till the land they were taken away. And they left behind the very young and the very old. As Ghana say now brought years and say, their railway stations, their big buildings, their infrastructure now, it was built for them. And to whom be a Sabi or black American, when they come to the castle and they take them around, they cry because the experience was terrible. Because let me tell you something about what they did to the female slaves. What they did to them was that, they only saw the female slaves as mere sex objects. Because Europeans nearby, they left their wives and set the girlfriends in Europe and in America. They didn't bring them here. So when they want to satisfy their sexual desires, the governor at that time just need to open the female dungeon. They bring them out. Then he will do his own selection. So that's how we are. That night, you have 5 female slave, you will come, you didn't quite come. now they will take you on a flight to the governor's balcony. And what happens there, Kwesi, it can best be imagined and not said. You know it, I know it.
Yeah.
Then the bad thing to it, when they finish that, they bring you back to the female dungeon again. So you can imagine the emotional trauma and the torture. And the most negative thing was that they didn't care if that female slave was in her period. That was so terrible. So the Elmina Castle has been there, and until some time now, if you go there, the pungent smell was even still there. And up to now. Until the castle tells us a lot about the Europeans when they came. But I say always say, the Europeans who did that at that time are not the same now. Because we must heal from our pain. Otherwise, we will live with the pain for a long time. And that is the first monument we'll talk about. And the last thing is that almost every year, or day in, day out, the castle receives about 1,000 visitors. Either in Ghana, school children going there to go and watch the castle, or foreigners coming in. Almost free African country, and almost free Europe, they all come there. So the monument there, as a Elmina Castle, no, we must protect it, and it will remind us of our history as at 1471 till now.
Wow. As our history as at 1471 till now.
Sure.
And yeah, I don't quite see hono. The Monte so ni niema bebre wo canons ahodo esisi ho enyina ekire se de na edan no etie ni dwumadi ahodo na omo edi. And then said the baby bitimi akranti o hono bebre o hono a bo be ne yakrakra ho kakra. Said the baby bitimi agiro na wo hwe enchanse e de akuri so ene de ka ho nyina ekire se ensisa kakra abam eno empo enie na se ye nananom ne nsem ahodo asipa e wo Ghana hanom ansana ye ba bedru babia ye dri e de ahibem na abesa de atoy so
Yes, Anka, about the Cape Coast Castle, because we share Central Regional currently a hub of education then also a hub of European colonization. The thing is at a point in time no the Europeans, you kind say the Portuguese are about first 1471. Almost see castle 1482 now. Now the Chinese say later no, omu free omanumu no mo koye. Until by the year 1653, yenya omu free Sweden so buy. Omo buy no be see the Cape Coast Castle. With time no, Sweden for free hanom koye. And their castle was now being controlled by the British, those from England. Until for a long time, now the Cape Coast Castle was the seat of British colonial administration. The next year, the Gold Coast Colony. Okay. Gold Coast Colony was around Cape Coast and its immediate environs. The group of people, the British found it hard to bring them under control with the Ashanti people. Several wars, Battle of Nsamanko, Battle of Dodowa. And to capture Asante Nombe, the Crown Colony of Asante. And in the northern sector, no, the protectorate. I say nada any protections be no more. But with Asante, all the wars happen. And sana by force no more control. Until for the Cape Coast Castle, it happened to be in Cape Coast. Meaning say Cape Coast was the country's capital because before it came to Accra. Until the Cape Coast Castle was more or less like baby aya bankesiemu. When all the governors came, Gordgesburg and what have you, they all living there. Until the Cape Coast Castle was not so much linked with slave trade. Until they realized the slave trade became lucrative. Until Yansono, you keep some slaves there to transport them to other places. But prior to that, no to talk gold. Eddie Guho. Now I'm fan say the textiles, the wood, and the things they have brought from Europe, no, almost keep your honor. Because during that time, now there was no currency, that's the kind of honor. Until trade was organized through the barter system. Until the tenants said they were cheating the people. Must see it. Make me the gold, I call gold dust. Near mount, mirror. I share with him. Be that. You will take gold there, they give you spoon. What don't say the most anti-union spoon now? I always say, where do heaven, huh? Yeah, more money want to say textiles in Tuma and then Tadia. And trade was being organized there. So the Cape Coast Castle was more or less like the beer in Penifoli in our bar, Omoko, Omotana Honum. I say, but the thing is, before the British came, let's put this on record, say, there was nothing like Gold Coast or Ghana.
Yeah.
Now we didn't have a unified country. Ni your mind, like I say, you need a bomb back. The near war, states and kingdoms. And nobody should be angry about it. The most powerful one was the Ashanti Kingdom. It was a fact. He should support that. Yeah. Because now the gold ye pa. Until the more gold you have, the more trade you can engage in and get the things you want. And more powerful you can be. And you pick the Ashanti, their kings, Kakarimone, Prempe, Tutumuna. They were warlike people. And during that time, also, the more lands you have shows how powerful you are. International Ashanti were a lot of vassal states. Awin, Wasa, Denchira, Adanse, Asin, Ashanti Fuasi. Ashanti was very powerful. That was the reason why it took a lot of time for the British to colonize Ashanti. Into the Cape Coast Castle now, a huge monument. What the Cape Coast Castle no, the outlook, the way it here, and they compare with Castle now, Cape Coast Castle is much more bigger and better because one no more. The only time they engaged in slave trade was the time that they saw say it was a good business.
Wow. And no, and I go so I buboso and the actual one for the so Omantemo, the Edna a woho, a bacosembe and a techre. Because a baby me call Seshi be quite. Now, Udru Honomoa, me fi quite cross, or call him Cacra, Monsieur, a bew Honomoa. I journey any boom, or more bacosem, say, I journey young way in Fiansanka. Until that time, no mekai, or Mumaeto, Pano, Ubu di Tumua, the morning in Abba Fa, Ubi Tumua, was a morning in our sorry ho, Nakase pa, but no Babafa, now or the co. Young Fiansan a bacosembe and a techri, and Nessadia woho, and I say I do biara. And then on our quay, most social media handles as well. A month for ye the chere, na your fat, now we prove your fat, now person to me a call. You want your money be brought on my cash, and Muraman be brought on my acquire ye in tea, say no. The camera be na me see dear be or northern region. Utu nasa babisiwo, utu nasa babisiwo. A dear way to say now still here for so see a bit too young. Ye tuna yan ye. Sadia we bit my abacosama. Ye the bed so can't send me brie a day a bois ye who if say and one a gun of food to quam on near your the chrono I be the wa. And there's so call you see River Jordan. If you crazy and walk could draw cosa to say you could tell me at the bar. I had the bayan century baby. And there's you will be waha as you heard the air no at the ball at the goom. You're just so goom. Or be crap connected if you're Janadi above the tumor and the moon on any year in the bush of Mujo by night at the goom. See, yes, I do we are, and why. In Jedamami would you also all mantamo. Now, if you fasten the WhatsApp line so 0558656899 or the type of bra na boss say yenso ha weni na wa ni gina ma we na yin kan fan kire amanfo ne mo ho ban na intimi emwai nature and then wabobom you no so e dia kire say kwa hefa
yemfa last one of the castles no the Christianborg castle
sure
or the fort du Christianborg I wo su akra hanum ya eno ye castle bia the Danes and Norwegians, they see here. The Danes from Denmark, Norwegians from Norway, they see here. Almost started in the 1660s. And by 1790, and also almost see at a time, now I say capital need free Cape Coast. And tonight here baby the governors and the political authority of the colonial masters will stay. The young better normally administer country no. Now, 19th and the 20th century, no? Even though you are independence there, now so now is still the seat of Ghana's president and their prime ministers. Until President Kufuor said, living there, no, will also show some marks of colonialism. You could see the Jubilee House, which later changed to Flagstaff House. As I call back Jubilee House, no, that's where they were staying. And it was more or less like a castle beer. It was properly built, very close to the sea at Osu. And Oshe be a city so a bank capital no pan the heart of Accra.
Yeah.
Even currently Oshe be ministries na there the Accra Sports Stadium, the Independence, the same catchment area. And so what you must know about this castle is the 1660s it began, 1790 omu year, and as serving as the seat of government for so many years. President Liman no woho. A champion the NLC Munina Kotana Hobby. President Rawlings Echo Honum and a President Kufuor until say President Mahama John Mills. You could see the Jubilee House or call Honoma. President John Mahama was Kotena Honum, and now President Nana Akufo-Addo. That was the seat of community. The history behind that castle too is that it was properly built, the structure was very nice, and it was done by 2 foreign powers. Those from Denmark and those from Norway. They built that castle. Now, before we leave the castles and forts, about the Black Star Square and the history behind it, some of the forts, I will just mention them across the length and breadth of Ghana. Fort Anthony, Axim. The difference between a fort and a castle is size. And the castle is much more, we can say, nicer and properly built. But the fort was more or less like, I say, you keep a goose room, and there is a few habitats for people to stay there. It was a fort now, next to Swat. Into Fort Anthony in Axim, you have Fort Orange in Second D.
Sir, the other swing in our home. Are we using it?
It is just there as tourist site. But we must also praise the Ghana Tourism Board.
Okay.
So at a point in time, they went there, almost painting, fine. But the maintenance culture is a problem. Near JC. So, oko close to Afrikiko, Flagstaff House, I will say a tourist center. Free Abrochiri Bana Sagana Hakra Honoma. They can show you all the tourist sites in Ghana. Into Nusa Oko Axima, Fort Anthony Woho. The history behind it. Oko Secondia, Fort Orange. Oko Iniba, your Fort Woho. Oko Anoma Bonswa, your Fort William. Fort Victoria in Cape Coast. Yes, also Usher Fort in Accra. Your James Fort, later be a prison. In the 1950s, Kwame Nkrumah was captured there for 1 year before he became president. All those things are there. If you are driving across the J.A. Mills High Street now, or they call Bank of Ghana, and they call down, they are all there, including the lighthouse, they are all there. The James Fort and the Usher Fort are there. Fort Apollonia, Western Region, Benin, or Honum. You have Fort of Good Hope in Elmina. Yes, also Fort Patience, Palm. Then lastly, Fort Amsterdam, Banze, close to the Cape Coast Highway. They are all there. And there are rich histories backing all these things. It makes us say, Ghana Nibian Pemre, non share the forts and castles. Into Mabu, you say, all these things are in Ghana. We can launch a serious tourism drive on this tourist site. And Ghana can rake in a lot of resources.
Okay, and then you have some of the monuments to be so and the actual. Meaning, say, a be another baby, I walk around Bobby so I be a war or mantemo. Inti a dear day and I will ye a dear found walk with that. And now say, Nina, what to Adrimu, and I will share baby a D a B a free. Into Wadarma, ye na onso wahwe na afi watimi edi ho nkomo. Ye nua ba ko a day about also good morning, Brakwasi. Nice topic. God bless you. Yes, so that's a pioneer in show. But Bumi and Fadi away a mantamumra, our Jane says, Hadi is very monumental. Yes. Because when he actually kukufu equine so on more. Ye wo abedu a busy honoma, a benoa pie miensa, bako waha. Who said these things and yet usual ewa bem. Omo de Kwame Nkrumah stories be kahu. Sorry, or Konfanoche stories be kahu. I know omoka edi chairman for meka minim kra minim asante mampon. Ofri jamase na oko mampon. Unse ekuno ebe kwan ne ho pa. I learned say there is a history behind it. Omoka say omo ye sa kwan na na sa bia ho no. Okonfanoche kan say bi de to ho say once a omo aye sa de no. Ana say sa kwan no eda ho no bepo no. A shame be anyone may be to me a free a beponeso, not tough. If you hope be seen there, and power corner be the cabins or church quatare at the end of power, so be munatum dear, and no a year as some for Uko be a moasia, and also a be a honum, almost a na a honumuna na confanoche, no yam a drubia or pese or ye, and son or their bar a bonting, into more boy da honumwa or more friendly yam bo, into no much say na confanoche yam. Nduru ahodwe wo so baby odi ne nsel tutui no to ware nyina ewo ho yo buta bi mu na okohyem ye bega se meditation no ye wo ho ne nduru nyina wo hu sa feeling no ewo ho nti nso mantam de ade na ewo ho na ye nyina ye ni eho enkomo nti na the forts and castles no de no aba ye san hwe the next one
ye for the Black Star Square okay idea bia by the 1960 and the then president of Ghana, Dr. Nkrumah, EDC Honum. Now, the TN say a monument be a Kwame Nkrumah be president on 1st July 1960 no. Just the following year, and a year that Black Star Square no. And coincidentally no, time na ye bia no was the same time na the then Queen of England Eba Ghana hasi. Queen Elizabeth I Eba hasi. And the president commissioned it when the Queen of England also came in here. Now the history behind this was that the inspiration of the Black Star Square no, it came in 1919. There was a man called Marcus Garvey. Now he's a Pan-Africanist. Or setting up the Black Star Line in one company. And a shipping line. I was set it up. And that Black Star Line was set it up, no, now they convey goods and services across the Atlantic Ocean. Now also a BB but no America. Into no who say or a link so much with the Africans. And Nkrumah got that inspiration to be able to set up the Black Star Square no, for Ghanaians. Into the Queen coming here was a coincidence. I am man with a big mileage. Who shared this big monument? A monument be a who person organize any big event in Ghana. Now you can get space there.
Yeah.
Who shared the way they have built it in so the top compartment, the down there, people can sit there. Yeah. And the Black Star is just there, very big for us to see. The Black Star being there, no, and say before I being a black hole, say you will not know black there. Now, so we can work effectively to help the country develop. Thank you very much.
The meaning.
You see, and the location was also very, very strategic. Now, location be between the Accra coastline and also shares a boundary with the 28th February Road. The name 28th February is history teacher.
Yeah.
Before the 1948 route, no, on 28th February 1948, no, there were some soldiers for at the Second World War on behalf of the British. Back, no, their white counterparts who were soldiers who were given what they are due. We know this in history, basic level and senior high school level. But the black people who went to fight during the Second World War, no, all the promises given to them, Emma was dying, Emma was business man, and until on 28th of February, they were marching to the castle, Christianborg Castle, that same area to demand what they were due. And the unfortunate happened. Shooting took place, and 3 of them died. And setting up the Black Star Square no, was at a location, not a good location, to remind us of our past. To see, say, there were even black people who fought for our need by going to war, challenging the colonial master. And up to now, undoubtedly, it is the biggest, event center for anybody. Say, sorry, school for corporate bodies. Event be soon be they go there. Can be say say this Black Star Square we see now, no editorial. Yeah. Last time it your counterpart was TV3 Johnny Hughes. No cast our call pictures. Now he even believes say the reason why we are rotating the state march, no, is because of that nature. Oh share baby and pennyphone chana cracks room. It's possible. Make it to say if all these monuments are there, and as a country, we believe that there is a history backing it up, we should avoid engaging ourselves in frivolous activities and make sure say we focus on maintaining all these things that we have in the country. In the Black Star Square, also, that's the history behind it. You see, in 1961, by the first president of Ghana, and it was done. And the time they were commissioning this Black Star Square, no, it coincided with the coming of the then monarch of the British Empire, that is Queen Elizabeth the First, and where it's located between the 28th February Road and the Accra coastline. That is where the Black Star Square is located.
Okay, so Amanfonso Ede Ebi Eba into to us no. I say Ama from La Paz, the Umbrella Rock. And also a war booty force, and also a day to a jar. Joseph and so every East Legon, or say phantom from no size. Bless you all. Yan so that's it, papa. When so a dear what TV so and so a second D, yes, a dear no, and also a war sono. What could a friend say? When the second D for also a lot of rich history. Yeah. And you were
once you believe no and your practices no, you believe more in the African traditional religion.
Yeah.
And this is one of the people and also play major role.
Yeah.
The name has escaped me a bit. Major role in bringing the secondary state into being. And to cause secondary close to the market. That statue is there. Close to the seaside and their market before you branch and go to the KANTANKA hospital.
Wow.
And you see, okay, I'm a say Ghana has said, you can see honor a hero, sir. And people will do things and die for the country.
Sure.
But a lot of people will do things for the country. Now later on, we neglect them.
Yeah.
In the end, among four, they have done monumental things for our country and try to honor them. Ebanesa, people will do things selflessly for Ghana and not think about their pocket.
Okay. Well, so Nzulezu. And also say Abna from Takrade. And also Edi Abba. Wow. And Apatay. Well, so secondary.
Yes.
And
Oko honoma ye wo the Lake Bosomtwe Sea Port e wo honum. Okay. Secondary for now, they engage so much in fishing activities.
Yeah.
And I believe strongly that it is showing the people's economic activity.
Their source of livelihood.
Their source of livelihood. And I've been able to say, they be didi honey and say honum.
Debbie.
And you say nimpa say in sio, ye the ball gu ye punimua. They are trying to say, yeah, ye now saying there are so many diseases and sicknesses capture ya na previous learning honum sa. And all these things na try say yensuya and free their coso in the past. We now see defense. Ya say epona to the extent say epona crap free natural habitat back among for
that's I remember some back crab me a branch bi o mu che no. Once rocks now mu dey see defense project no. And also the air quarry site. And you board all those boom kitikiti no ton. And I'm saying I don't know how. I didn't dey boy nyina home buy no. The air quarry site
for its own personal interest.
Said the see die. And also your chair nti we nyina ensem ahodo and ye di ho enkomo. Abena chei boache.
Go for it.
Abna is very monumental.
Yeah.
Abna Nkaidum.
I will look for her history and bring it.
Baby, I'm the best there. Abna me fa go see.
Na if na episode this.
Say kire me fa see hin na me am. Say bomma ho hin kra biem.
Maybe say globally when you say
well maybe say bomma na dey si na kire say na odi hima wa ha na ofri na fe
all the 16 regions you say BC one san work international so
say if regions na near ko international abna apart from the abubo so monument be na okai pa bebre am gasa me start abubo dia ade beche nti me fancy say okay the buy no mo friend no okonfo ase e was second D and na yeah obi so the messages about my main kind no be nya fama abna or say good morning brakwasi please if you can do this program on weekend it will help our children yeah say papa we pate from Takrade and na also de aba we so say enam ase from the second D that is enam de na e buy no also the aba enam ase
source of livelihood
and the whole Ghana unim ni nyina
but at least we learn about the
relevant ones baby so higher na ebubunte omo shey no nye ni
maintenance
na no ya won say nkoma museum hono so nice and so beautiful
for that because
yes,
when it comes to historic monument Edamakuma Sopa and Kwame Nkrumah is a great person not in Ghana the whole world the president needs to
go but we hono omo na fine pa come okay akwasi me mo money adwuma pa
me that
why ade pa ye da nation so asepa ewo ene encheche a wodi ababe ma ye said ye ebinom e de messages aba a omani age ho no ye se ne mapa esan say aba front of a morning show dia ye say a very educative, informative and entertaining enti anije de wo honom adesua de wo honom eniema hodo esese wuhunu na wo so utimi sua bi ne nyina e na ye bo ho de enti ne ye ne ye gi edwai ye da mo so so ase sada ne da mo de mo fidie eto KANTANKA television especially your guest or more pass you through an education nyina ye see da mu nyina ase ene ye fia da de wo ye bia no in moderation wo ye no na wo ma wani ada honom sɛ de be ya enkofa o how bi eso emma nti sɛ nenso fiada de a me fa seda kese nso ma de entire crew sɛ da ne da omoni di dwuma yie esan sɛ ye beba wo TV so na obehwe wo fiefie mu a na nam mu nnwuma pa a wo ma ye nti ene ma wo nso so wotimi ehwe ene no me nsam pa mu 3:30 woni Kimi Baby eni ehia ewo the exclusive entertainment